This is Sloan with Keller Realty, and I'm here with Jennifer Rader and Chad, and he's with Credit
Repair Resources.
We're just going to keep it going just so that you guys see the bloopers. But he's here with Credit Repair Resources, and today we had an awesome seminar on things that you can do to restore, repair your credit to get you guys ready for a loan. So what I've done is I've brought in Jennifer, who is a mortgage lender with AMCAP Mortgage, and we're just going to ask you a few questions. So Chad, what are some of the things that you notice just right now with people that are looking to restore their credit, possibly to purchase their first home?
When you're trying to become a first-time home buyer, the first thing you have to do is have a positive credit footprint. See, the credit reporting agencies and lenders want to know how well you're going to pay your bills on time. And if you don't have any positive credit on the report, to try and build that score. Should I be talking to people as I'm talking to them out there?
Talk to them.
So if you're not trying to, if you're out there and you're trying to get a home, the key is to show a lender that you can pay your bills on time. To understand that, credit reporting, the first question that was ever asked when the credit scores were built was, what's the likelihood a consumer is going to be 90 days late or more in the next 2 years? So as a new first-time home buyer, without establishing that credit and showing that you can pay your bills on time, it's going to be hard for you to establish the score that you're looking for, and two, be able to prove to the underwriters that you are a good risk. So what I suggest, number one, is you've never had credit before, have your parents add you as an authorized user to a credit card that they have that has a good age, has a low balance, and a good pay history. That's going to help you have a shot of steroids to boost your credit score. But the underwriters are also going to know that that authorized user account is not necessarily yours. So you'll want to establish your own credit card as well. Now, establishing that credit card and using the credit card to the max available limit is not a good thing. You want to try and keep the balances on those credit cards to 30% or less of what is available. So if you have a $300 credit card, you want to keep that balance at any less than $100. Hopefully you're keeping it less than $50. The lower that you have your balance on your credit card, the higher your credit score is going to go up. So I always recommend, if you have the means, get the credit card and keep the balance at about $5.
So I know you said, get a credit card, but like we just said, I haven't been paying my bills for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So when I apply for cards, I get denied. So how can I it's kind of like that chicken and the egg. How can I get a credit card to start telling people I've gotten a new job, we're getting income consistently, I'm ready to start paying bills?
Well, one is the authorized user. Two is a secured credit card. Okay, a secured credit card is where you take your own money and you put it into the bank's account and you borrow from yourself and pay yourself back to the bank. The bank then takes your credit payments or payments to yourself and report those to the bureaus. It's a great way to establish credit, and it's a great way to learn how to use credit on a monthly basis. The other thing is, if you look at some banks, they offer what they call a forced savings program. So what a forced saving program is, where you say, I want to save $1,000 or $1,200 over the years per period, and the bank takes your payments, and you're paying yourself in your own savings account. Well, they report your payments to the credit reporting agencies as an installment loan. So while you're building and saving your money, you're also working to build your credit. So you want to look at your local banks to see if anybody offers that program. More and more lenders are becoming advocates of that type of process.
So Jennifer, I know that you're on the kind of the first catch end when a person says, hey, I'm ready to buy a house, and you see a lot of things coming in. What are maybe the top 2 or 3 things that you've noticed that are preventing people from qualifying for a home?
There are a few things that we see a lot, especially with the younger home buyers or the first-time home buyers, and that is that they don't have any credit, or they have very little credit. They have maybe one credit card or maybe nothing with no scores at all. And if there's no scores at all, we can't offer a mortgage loan to them. We have to have credit scores. We have to have a minimum level of credit scores. The other thing we see a lot is, the little bit older, a 30 to 40 range, is that they have negative credit from the past. Mm-hmm. And they didn't do anything with it, and they're just scared of credit. So they start paying cash for everything afterwards, and they never fixed what they had before, and they haven't built new credit. So their scores are going to continually stay low because they're not changing the habit. They're not, at least it looks like they're not changing the habit. Even though they're paying cash for everything, there's no record of those on-time payments. So those are some of the main things that we see. Or we see them maxed out on the cars that they do have. Mm-hmm. And that's an easy fix. We do that a lot, get those balances down to that, would you say 10% range? Mm-hmm. That's the best place to be on a revolving card. So those are probably the main things that we see that are preventing people from having the scores that they really should have.
Okay. Now I know you said something about a lot of people are cash heavy. I used to be a bartender, so I would purchase a lot of things cash. And
sure.
I'm one of those people that don't really care for credit, so I don't probably have the history needed because I'm just buying everything outright, which shouldn't be a bad thing, but
Right.
I understand. So what are some techniques for if you are cash heavy, or if you are just making payments with cash? How can we set tracking records so that way, when you look at the file, what should we do? Should we just start putting things in the bank, or?
Both. You want to have money in the bank. We want to see reserves. We want to see the ability to save money. We don't want to see, we can't count cash. So if you were to come to me today and say, I have $10,000 in cash for a down payment, I can't count that money because there's no record of where it came from. It could be a gift. It could be someone else. We just can't use it. So get it in the bank. Get the reserves in the bank. The second thing would be to get a credit card. Use it for your gas. Use it for your groceries. The things that you use all the time. Get some activity on those cards so we can establish that credit history and get some credit scores built up.
Okay. So Gary Keller always talks about the one thing, and I think that it's easy to get one thing to take away. So Chad, if you were to give public out there one thing that they can do right now to increase their credit score, what would you recommend?
Keep your balances low and pay them on time. That's two, but those are the two keys. Paying your payments on time, and then keeping your balances at a low balance. That's what's going to help loosen the most quickly.
Awesome.
And my one thing would be, and I try to correlate this with homework, kids and homework. If you don't use credit, you're not going to have a credit score. You don't hand in your homework, you're going to get a 0. So use credit. Don't be afraid of credit. If you use it the right way, you're going to get the right scores.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it.
Well, I think those are some really great tips. You guys, we are actually here in Pearland. Our offices are here. We're real people. Chad is not a Pearland native, but we won't hold
that against him.
We won't hold that against them. But we're here if you have questions. So if you have questions about buying a home, or have questions about financing your home, or even if you have questions about improving your credit, give us a call. We're here in the office, and we'd love to take care of you. My name is Sloan. I'm with Keller Williams Realty. This is Jennifer Rader with AMCAT Mortgage, and this is Chad with Credit Repair
Resources.
And we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.